I keep on hearing about. Are you one of those non-violent?
So I know you're one of those.
One of those what?
I read your question.
You haven't, yeah, but you haven't heard the question yet.
If you believe in man-made global warming, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, can I ask?
Which tells me that you are a liberal.
I am a liberal?
Well, or a little bit more left, because he believes in man-made global warming.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Really? Can I ask you this question? Do you believe in man-made global warming?
When you say man-made, you mean that
we're polluting the earth.
Or that people are...
That man has an effect on the temperature of the earth.
Yes.
You believe in that?
I thought you meant that we created it in our head and it doesn't exist.
Okay, can I ask you this question then?
Yeah.
Okay. Because this is easily verifiable by just getting on your phone and looking it up. If you were to look up history weather modification programs,
yeah,
you will see documented evidence of weather modification programs, both private and government, going back to 1891.
Yeah.
In 1954, President Eisenhower started the Department of Weather and Climate Modification. In 1961, President Kennedy, in a speech you can see on YouTube, said this: "We will start using today's technology to control the weather." That's a quote. From 1968 to 72, we used weather weapons in Vietnam. That's why the UN passed the UN Weather Weapons Treaty banning the use of weather weapons in 1974.
Yeah.
They don't usually ban things we do not have.
Yeah.
A leaked document in 1997, an Air Force document, labeled "Weather as a False Multiplier, Controlling the Weather by 2025. If you were to go to geoengineeringwatch.org right now, you can look up the reams of documentation of how we spend billions of dollars every year on these weather modification programs, how we manipulate the weather. Here's the question. How come none of this is ever brought up in any global warming climate change conference? How come we never hear a single word of these documented ongoing weather modification programs?
Yeah.
How come? Can you answer that question for me?
I can't.
Thank you.
Because people don't want to blame themselves. They're too... it's politics. They don't want to blame themselves.
Well, they are blaming themselves. The whole global warming scheme is blaming us. Oh, your carbon footprint. Oh, you nasty person.
They're not blaming
oh, you've got
themselves.
so much carbon. You got to cut back.
They're blaming the people. They're blaming their people. They're not blaming themselves for making those decisions.
Oh, no. Well, Al Gore still rides around in limousines and Lear jets, and he has 13 homes, and every last one of them, he spends 30 times more than the average house does on electricity. So, yeah, so that hypocrite, we can always look at what they do. So why are they picking on carbon then? What is the bullshit there? If they're lying to us by omission, knowing that we can control the weather. I mean, they've got machines that can make hurricanes.
Yeah.
Control hurricanes, steer them.
Yeah.
Again, they banned weather weapons, but that didn't stop them because it's, how do you do that? It's a perfect weapon.
Yeah.
So
but steering away from Sun 1 just got destroyed. They can use that weapon to save people's lives, then why not?
Thank you. Why aren't we using these weapons to stop the droughts?
Yeah.
Or, make the deserts fertile?
Yeah.
So, and we can do that if you look at the documentation.
Yeah.
And so, we're not the only nation doing this. So we got other nations fighting weather weapons with us. Think how much money you could make if you could predict crop yield.
Yeah.
How much control you'd have over the people. So what? But you have to give them something to, why is the weather? Why all this anomalies? Why are the weather screwing up? Oh, let's give them. It's their fault. It's carbon dioxide. It's you. It's your fault. You have to stop. You have to get out of your car.
Yeah.
You have to ride your bike. Well, the thing is, carbon doesn't mean crap. It is like a flea fart on the back of a dog.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it. It is a trace element. It is 0.04% of the entire atmosphere.
Yeah.
You see that big yellow thing in the sky? That controls our temperature. And if you really want to know why the anomalies in the weather are right now,
Yeah.
it's because on top of the fact that we have these weather wars going on with other nations, at this moment, you've seen it in the news, we have had extraordinary solar flares coming from the sun. Now, these solar flares are like huge eruptions, volcanic eruptions that, when you're in the blast of them, it's like anything else. If I push you right now, you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
The Earth is feeling these things now. If we got a direct hit from one of these blasts, it could just knock us out of orbit. I mean, everything would die.
Yeah.
So, these things are happening. Right now, the sun's expanding at the same time against sunspots. So, on top of the weather wars that we get, weather weapons we have. So to put a beard on this, to hide the things that they're doing from us in plain sight, they blame you, give you global warming and carbon, carbon dioxide. Ooh, your carbon footprint, you have to shrink that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we're going to tax you.
Yeah.
So why don't we go ahead and lower your standard of living? We're going to go ahead at the same time rob you blind for something that's a complete hoax.
Yeah. Nah. We're going to use these things for hurricanes.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you start studying and looking at the history of weather weapons, go to geoengineeringwatch.org. There are hundreds of whistleblowers, scientists on there, climatologists, people who've worked for NASA, that give you documentation and say, this is what I worked on. This is how it's not hard. This is what we can drop ice crystals into clouds and dissipate them.
Yeah.
We can use radio waves and frequencies to go ahead and control weather patterns.
Yeah.
And to push storms away. I mean, you'd think we've been sitting and look. They used to do rain dances thousands of years ago.
Oh, that's our lift. But that was an amazing conversation. But we'll be back.
Well,
Are you here tomorrow?
Well, God willing.
Are you here tomorrow?
God willing. It all depends on weather and everything else. But here's my get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton for you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We're saving her.
We're coming back tomorrow here, right here.
back.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Be looking forward to it. Be a pleasure.